Hello Aces, hello everyone. This would be Teacher A for today. Last time we already had our English lesson in English 7 for the module 1. Now for today's video, we'll be doing grade 8 English. Now, prior to the opening of class, that will be on October 5, 2020. Now, let us try to have an advanced lesson on what particular content will be featured on your module from the SDO-Pampanga. Now, let's start. The coverage for the grade 8 English would be determine the meaning of words and expressions. Now, identifying the meaning of words can be a great task for every student because it's a bit difficult. It requires a lot of analysis, it requires a lot of resources. But on this module, we'll be dealing on the ways and the correct strategies in identifying the meaning of words and expressions. Okay, let's start. Now, this video will cover 2 ways to determine the meaning of words and expressions. Now, we'll be having 4 ways in identifying the meaning of words and expressions. Now, it's up to you later on which this particular 4 ways or strategies you are usually using. But on this video, we will be introducing one particular strategy so that you can use it on the entire session. Okay, the first strategy would be the use of word parts, the prefixes, the root word, and suffixes. Sometimes prefixes and suffixes indicate the meaning of a word. A root word changes its meaning by adding prefix or by adding suffix. It also changes the nature of the word from verb, from adjective, and different parts of speech by simply adding prefixes and suffixes. Now, if you are familiar with the meaning of different prefixes and suffixes, you can easily identify the meaning of the word by simply adding it on the root word. That will be the first strategy. The second strategy would be the basic one, using of reference materials like dictionaries. Commonly, from the students who loves reading, a voracious reader, who encountered unfamiliar term, definitely what he or she may possibly do is to get a dictionary, then find the meaning of the word from it. We usually do that because it's easy, it's accessible, and it's fast. Now, another example would be the context clues. When we say context clues, is using of context clues or hints. You will be identifying a certain word based on the meaning appeared on the text. It means you will be looking for the hints, you will be looking for the clues in the entire sentence so that you can identify the meaning of that word. It requires analysis and processing. That will be the third strategy. The fourth strategy would be, it's also synonymous to the second one, using of reference material, but for this time, online resources. Like if you want to find the meaning of a certain word, you can just easily type it in the Google tab. Then presto, the meaning will be appearing in different websites. That will be easy. If you don't like to browse it on the reference text in dictionaries or using context clues, the easiest way for the millennials and netizens today would be the usage of online resources. Now, as a recap, we will be dealing with the ways to determine the meaning of words and expressions. The first one would be using of word parts. The second one is using of reference material like dictionaries. The third one, using of context clues or hints. And the fourth one would be using of online resources. As I mentioned earlier, for today's video, we will be dealing only with one strategy. You will be using only one of these 4 strategies. And I would like you to guess, what do you think? What particular ways or strategy would be our topic? Is it the first one, the second one, the third one, or the last strategy? Okay, I guess you are thinking we will be dealing with the use of context clues. I will be teaching you on this particular part of the video on how to use context clues in identifying the meaning and expression without using reference materials, without using online resources. Okay, let's go. Now, for the discussion time, we'll be addressing some of the important texts in the module. It is stated that finding the meaning of unfamiliar vocabulary is done by choosing flexibly from a range of strategies. One strategy is the use of a variety of reference materials, while another involves applying knowledge of the structure of words and parts of words such as stems, root, words, prefixes, and suffixes. In this particular slide, it is only discussed that the strategy can be the use of variety of reference materials like dictionary, the thesaurus, and even the online one. It also stated that you can use the structure of words to identify the meaning of the word. It can be on the stem, it can be on the root words, can be on the prefixes and suffixes, as we stated in the previous slide. For the continuation of the discussion, learning the meaning of a word through its use in a sentence or paragraph is another practical way to build vocabulary, since a dictionary is not always available when a reader encounters an unknown word. Now, isn't it that dictionary is not always available in our home? Unless you have the mobile dictionary, you can download it on your Play Store, in your App Store. Then you can install it on your phone so that you can have your application, your mobile application for dictionary instead of having a printed one. Now, it is also stated here that we can learn the meaning of a word through its use in the sentence. That's what we call context clues. Finding the meaning of a word by using hints or clues in the sentence. That's the practical definition of context clues. It will not appear easily, but you need to use the interrelationship of the words to identify the meaning of the highlighted word or identify the meaning of the unfamiliar term. Now, to make it clear, a reader should rely on context clues. We have here the red text. When an obvious clue to meaning is provided or when only a general sense of the meaning is needed for the reader's purpose. I repeat, a reader should rely on context clues when an obvious clue to meaning is provided or when only a general sense of the meaning is needed for the reader's purposes. Now, we will be using only context clues whenever obvious clue to meaning is provided. There are some statements that are incomplete that requires another statement to have a thought. Now, if your statement doesn't have any obvious clue to the unfamiliar term, definitely we will be requiring another strategy. Context clues is only evident when a certain clue or a certain hint is available in the sentence. That will help you. If there's no clues, there's no hint, definitely we cannot apply this particular strategy. Context clues are hints found within a sentence, a paragraph, or passage that a reader can use to understand the meanings of new or unfamiliar words. Sometimes they are not only appearing in a single sentence, but they can be identified in a paragraph or passage. That's why you should be aware of everything. You should be reading everything so that you can find the clue in the unfamiliar or new word that you will be encountering in your text or sentence. Now, let us try to practice this one. Now, I repeat, context clues is a type of strategy in identifying the word, the meaning of the words and expression by using the entire text. Now, we have here the statement, the dragon dance is an ancient Chinese tradition which began many years ago. Now, as you can see, we have here the bold term, ancient. Now, if we will be using context clues in this sentence, we'll be identifying the meaning of the unfamiliar term. Now, let us try first to identify what would be the clues that we can use. The dragon dance is an ancient Chinese tradition which began many years ago. We can have this term many years ago and tradition. We can associate this term tradition many years ago in order to identify or find the meaning of the term ancient for the context clues. We have these clues, tradition, and many years ago. Now, if you want to practice as well, you can also guess what particular synonymous term that we can associate on the word ancient. Okay, we can have old, that's correct. Prehistoric, that's also correct. And primitive. These three terms, old, prehistoric, primitive, can be associated in the word ancient, as we have our clues, tradition and many years ago. Okay. Next example would be celestial bodies, including the sun, moon, and stars, have fascinated man through the centuries. We have here the bold term celestial. Now, let us try to use clues. We can have sun, moon, and stars. If we'll be using this as context clues, what particular term can be associated in the word celestial? Let us identify. This can be, that's correct, objects found in the sky or heaven, because sun, moon, and stars can only be seen in the sky or heaven. Definitely, celestial bodies are objects found in the sky or heaven. That would be context clues. Now, let's do this another practice. The bell situated in the mountain range is humongous. The bell situated in the mountain range is humongous. We have the term humongous. What would be the particular term that we can identify? Can be giant, huge, and very big. Now, there are some students who associated humongous. Do you know Ben 10? There's another transformation for Ben 10. It's a kind of alien, humongosaur. Humongosaur means a giant dinosaur type. That's why students usually associate it. I already encountered this one. He said that, sir, it's humongous associated to humongosaur of Ben 10. It's a big one. It's somehow an alien that can enlarge, that can grow big. That's why he associated Ben 10 to this term. That's good. You are associating different terms in order to identify the meaning of the word or the unfamiliar term. Okay, now let's practice. As a reminder, we'll be using context clues to identify the meaning of the unfamiliar term. Use the entire sentence, the entire text in order to find the meaning of the word. Now, for the instruction, determine the meaning of each word by using context clues. Question number 1. Katie appeared infallible in math class because she had never gotten a problem wrong. The word infallible in the sentence means A. Incorrect, B. Mistaken, C. Never wrong, or D. Wrong. What would be your answer? That's correct. Letter C, never wrong. Infallible is also never wrong as synonymous term, because we have here clues. Never gotten a problem. Wrong. Katie never had incorrect or mistakes in the math class. Maybe she's very smart on this. Infallible means never wrong. No incorrect responses in the math class. Okay, you are doing well. Very good. Now let's proceed to question number 2. The tornado annihilated the whole town to the point that nothing was left standing. The word annihilated in this sentence means A. Constructed, B. Created, C. Destroyed, or D. Saved. What is your answer? The tornado annihilated the whole town to the point that nothing was left standing. The word annihilated in this sentence means? That's correct. Destroyed. What are the context clues that we can use? Nothing was left standing. That would be our context clues. It means everything is destroyed by the tornado. Annihilated is also equivalent to the word destroyed. Let's proceed to question number 3. We could tell by the rotten smell that something putrid was in our trash can. The word putrid in this sentence means A. Alive, B. Ample, C. Appealing, or D. Rotten. The correct answer would be, that's correct, rotten, because we already introduced the term in this particular sentence. Rotten smell. And the word garbage, and we can also have the word trash can. Now let's proceed to our 4th statement. Phyllis felt elated when she won the race. The word elated in this sentence means blank. A. Happy, B. Miserable, C. Sick, or D. Tired. Phyllis felt elated when she won the race. The word elated in this sentence means blank. The answer would be happy. Whenever that you are winning a certain contest, what particular feeling do you have? That's correct. Happiness, right? Same as elated means happy. Next one. The insidious burglar was able to sneak in the house without being heard or seen. The word insidious in this sentence means A. Clumsy, B. Loud, C. Sneaky, or D. Strong. What would be your answer? The insidious burglar was able to sneak in the house without being heard or seen. The word insidious in this sentence means clumsy, loud, sneaky, or strong. The answer is sneaky, because we'll have here the context clues without being heard or seen. It means that particular person can move freely, can move smoothly without anyone that can notice him. The term would be sneaky for insidious. Okay, there you have it. We have 4 strategies that we can use in identifying the words in terms of their meaning and the expression in terms of their meaning. But in this video, for Module 1 of English 8 for the week 1, we only deal with the use of context clues as a process of identifying the meaning of the words or expression in the sentence. By using the entire text, by processing everything in our mind, we can easily identify the meaning without using any printed materials and any online references. Now, if you have time, if you want to be updated all the time with our next lesson, please subscribe to our channel and give it a like for this video. Now, please comment down below your school so that we can identify which of the schools are actually watching our video. Please support us. That's all for today. Goodbye, everyone. Happy learning and keep safe.